On your mark, get set. On your mark, get set. On your mark, get set. On your mark, get set.
Yeah, I should have known it from the very start. This girl will leave me with a broken heart. Oh, listen, people, what I'm telling you, I keep away from a run around Sue. Yeah, my missing lips and a smile on her face, touch of my
The drumming in the background. Yeah, that.
Oh, I'm not drumming, I'm just tapping my foot.
Close enough. I mean, you technically use your foot to drum. But lucky for us, there's nobody here to notice. So yay. Hello, empty chat. How you doing?
Hello, chat.
So since there's no one here, I can now say every swear word I know?
Yeah, why not? Wait, I'll beat you to it. Fuck, shit, ass bitch, cunt. Shoot you out. Whoa. Okay, anyways. How is it that I beat you to that? It was your idea.
Because I'm definitely not trying to find Babylon Bee articles right now.
Of course you aren't.
Monkey.
So, interestingly enough, today, Trudeau skipped his meeting, his fun vacation in Barbados to come back to actually deal with the rail blockades. Now, he calls the blockades unacceptable. However, he called a meeting about it with the Quebecois, the Liberals, the NDPs, the Green Party. You know who wasn't invited?
Trudeau.
No, the Conservative Party. He called a meeting with everybody but the Conservatives. And he says basically Scheer's comments about what's going on disqualifies him from being a part of the conversation about it. In other words, he disagreed with Trudeau, and therefore it disqualifies him from joining the conversation. Because, as the Conservatives say, arrest them. They're breaking the law. Arrest them. And as Trudeau says, that's racist.
Oh, shucks. Try to imagine it.
I do believe GE does make a solution to the problem. Minigun.
Yeah.
Holy hell, Peter, you and I have been awake since about the same time. Good work.
Hey, Pete. I was up at 5:30 this morning. Does that count?
420.
Close enough.
Blaze it!
2.
So yeah, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau cited unacceptable shortages and layoffs Wednesday, while he said his government is working extremely hard to resolve rail blockades in support of the natives, hereditary chiefs opposed to a natural gas pipeline. You can't be supportive to these people unless you're willing to say we're not going to do the pipeline. That's the only way they're going to accept your answer. But anyways,
I don't think any...
Fine, girl.
Okay, well,
Hello.
Hello?
Where have you been for the last 5 minutes?
Talking?
Did you mute us again?
No.
Because we couldn't hear you.
Awesome. So anyways, a group that refers to themselves as Cousins for Westsue said it is protesting in support of the hereditary chiefs, which there aren't too many of those ones. It also said that the demonstrators plan to continue their efforts until Mr. Trudeau intervenes and the RCMP leave Westsue territory via rail to lay off 1,000 employees amid rail blockades. Alberta Justice Minister Doug Swetzer said on Twitter that Albertans will not be economic hostages to law-breaking extremists. It is my expectation that law enforcement will take all appropriate actions to enforce the fucking law. On Parliament Hill on Wednesday, NDP leader Jagmeet Singh also called for the RCMP to leave the Westsue territory, while he also suggested a special mediator to be appointed. No. You don't mediate with people that are breaking the fucking law. You throw them in jail. Okay? Like, it will only be solved.
Canada.
It will only be solved by de-escalated talks.
You're going to negotiate with lawbreakers instead of arresting them.
Yeah.
That sounds... Canada's great.
Mr. Singh and Mr. Trudeau needs to meet with the hereditary chiefs and consider compensation for affected workers. Why do we have to compensate the affected workers? One, by taxpayer dollars, and two, why do we need to mediate with people that are causing the taxpayers to have to pay this shit? What the actual fuck? Do you think we have just, just blank check it, right? Just blank fucking check it? Hereditary chiefs are not...
Well, that tends to be how government works, is just blank check.
Yeah, but here's the thing, the hereditary chiefs, as we've been saying for the past couple of days, they're just chiefs that are born by blood into the fucking fold and don't bother helping their people whatsoever. Whereas there are actual elected chiefs that are like, yeah, do this, the jobs, community, money, yay. The hereditary chiefs, however, just want to fuck the dog half the time.
That ain't right. No, bestiality is wrong. Also, I bet they'd move off the track if the trains were armed with a full auto rifle with blanks.
Exactly.
Don't want to kill anyone. Just don't tell them they're blanks.
Exactly. So on
Or
Wednesday...
live rounds, I'm more partial to live rounds.
On Wednesday,
I mean,
Viral
that's an option.
said
I've
it
been
will...
seeing videos coming out of that area for all these protests up there. I've seen these videos coming out of there, and I gotta say one thing. I like the truck drivers up there. They got less patience than I do, and I dig that. They're running over those people.
Are you watching the United We Roll ones?
No. I saw a cow hauler, a couple bulk haulers, some equipment guys.
Yeah, pretty much. On Wednesday, Virail said it will issue temporary layoff notices to 1,000 employees as the suspension of most passenger rail services continues amid the protests. The move came after Canadian National Railway Company announced on Tuesday that it was laying off 450 workers. CN has suspending operations on its Eastern Canadian network, which has been blocked for 2 whole weeks. Via Rail, a federal crown corporation, employs 3,100 people and serves more than 400 Canadians on communities on a 12,500 kilometer cross-country network. Indigenous Services Minister Mark Miller, who met Wednesday on Parliament Hill with his Liberal caucus, said Canadians are hurting as a result of the disruptions, while he stressed that the highest level of government are engaged on the file. Mr. Miller also called the situation a pivotal point in Canada's history. No, it's a pivotal point in you fucking wagon burners, get off the tracks. A spokesperson for Crown Indigenous Relations Minister Carolyn Bennett said late Tuesday that the minister had a conference called Tuesday afternoon with a number of Wesleyan hereditary chiefs. She listened to their concerns and reiterated that she remains committed to coming to their territory as soon as they are available. You know what? I love how none of these Indigenous leaders that were affected are going, but your behavior should not be tolerated, and I disavow you to the fullest. Nope, not at all. During an emergency debate on the issue that took place Tuesday evening in the House of Commons, the MP whose riding includes the Wesleyan territory said successive federal governments are to blame for not addressing unresolved land issues. Are you fucking kidding me? NDP MP Taylor name I don't care about, who represents the BC riding of... Oh, hey, donation. Look at that.
What the fuck?
That would be a donation sound.
Saki the Real donated $1 Canadian. I didn't know Darth Vader was on this stream. Or is it someone vaping like it's going out of fashion?
Thank you, Saki. You know what? I don't think it's Fred this time. It must be Trucker. Which one of you guys sound like Darth Vader?
Well,
I've been muted.
Crappy's out, and
I haven't been vaping.
I ain't got a vape.
Oh, well.
Somebody's breathing too cold. This is Michael just say it to me. Thank you, Saki.
Actually, no, I remember one time, one time I was accidentally vaping into the mic. Whoops.
Okay, yeah, so Mr. Name I don't care about said governments ignored that advice
There
and
could
are
be
now
more.
facing the
There
consequences.
could be much more annoying sounds. Trust me. Come here, you little twerp. Come here.
In that,
Come here. Let me put this on your head for a minute.
How are your ovaries?
he's not really saying anything yet.
Oh, hold on.
That's adorable. That's so cute. Okay,
Now how are your ovaries?
perfectly fine. In that Supreme
So how
Court
are your ovaries
ruling,
now?
the judge directed the federal government that it had a moral, if not legal, duty to enter into and conduct those negotiations in good faith on the question of their indigenous title. In over 20 years since that historic ruling, successive liberal and conservative governments have failed to step up and begin that difficult work of upholding, acknowledging, and affirming Wet'suwet'en's title. He said the debate over the standoffs must recognize that hereditary chiefs are advocating for the rights to traditional lands, which are much larger than the reserves in the area created under the Indian Act that have elected leaders. Because, you know, and we didn't know there was oil on there when he gave him that spot, so, you know, our bad. There has been so much said in recent days about what percentage of people support what, and my fear is this only serves to further deepen the divides and that have been created, or it gives you a better sample of who's actually talking the loudest. You know, I bet you don't want to know the percentage of people that support this, because if it's a tiny minority, you're fucked. But yeah, of course not, right? The reality is that the hereditary chiefs represent a legitimate decision-making body for indigenous people. No, they don't, outside of reserves. They do not. So yeah, day 3 of just crap. Just crap. Lots and lots of crap.
Yeah, they need to go back to their reservations. Do they do peyote up there? They need to do that, yeah.
Peyote?
I don't know.
I hear it's quite good in tea.
So I think Trucker had a more updated version of this, but 69 people are injured as whiteout causes 100 vehicle pileup on Montreal's South Shore.
Actually, the update came to me from Crappy.
Ah. 9
So,
people.
but that is up to 200 car pileup.
Yeah. It's a whiteout. 9 people were seriously injured, while another 60 suffered minor injuries after a pileup involving at least 100 cars and 12 trucks on Montreal's South Shore Wednesday. Highway 15 has been closed in both directions near kilometer 46 in the suburban city of La Prairie since the collisions occurred in the southbound lane at about 12:30 p.m. Danielle McCann, the province's health minister, said 3 hospitals in the area initiated a code orange, a hospital-wide warning that alerts staff that multiple casualties are on the way. It was a very prompt operation, and they are still on the scene. Obviously, she said, we are taking care of people on the highway. So, yeah. Whiteout, in case you guys don't know, is exactly what it sounds like. It's a whiteout.
The stuff that you use to get ink off paper?
God!
Oh,
working.
y'all down there don't know about this white stuff called snow? It gets fucking everywhere, and it's annoying.
Oh, I know about snow. I just choose to stay as far away from it as possible.
That's a smart thing to do. I like it up here, though.
You know, I love how they talk to it. I love how they're talking to us. It feels like we've never seen snow before.
Yeah. It's not like we had snow here like a couple weeks ago.
Okay, there's a difference between snow and a whiteout.
You know, we've got this little thing down here called the Second Amendment and freedom of speech. You know, you really ought to try that sometime. Oh, I'm sorry, Trudeau.
Yeah, sensitive topic.
Hi, Red Feather. Hi, Elowen. Hi, Saki.
Hello.
I'm going to ignore that comment. Hey, Pete.
Damn it. This sucks. I can't see the comments.
I've driven in whiteouts, thank you.
Yeah, but my statement still stands. There's a difference between snow and whiteouts. And we get them a lot more often than you do, so there.
Well, that's your own fault for being a Canadian.
Yeah. Move.
I would love to, but my kids.
Move. Hell, I moved once to get away from really bad political policies, and starting to look like I may have to do it again.
Yeah, well. Harry and Meghan Markle have lost their office at Buckingham Palace. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Let me get out the smallest violin and play it for him.
Buckingham Palace began dismantling the links between the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and the royal family yesterday. Oh man, they've been disowned. The couple's office in the palace will be closed at the end of next month as a year-long review of the new relationship begins. Oh, wow. Harry and Meghan will cease to be senior royals and will stop representing the Queen from March 31st. Wow. Their spokeswoman said, after that date, the couple will be represented by a new non-profit foundation. This will not be called Sussex Royal. The brand that the couple have already established with the use of the word royal under review. I guess when they say this will not, they meant this will now be called. Oh, I'm feeling so bad for these guys. So bad. The palace said that although the Duke would lose his military roles, he would remain retain his honorary ranks of major, lieutenant, commander, and squadron leader of the under the understanding, that he would not use them or perform any official duties associated with those roles. So you just get the words, but none of the fun, okay? The same is true for their style of HRH. There will be a review of the arrangement after a year. Their final royal event is the Commonwealth Day service at Westminster Abbey on March 9th. The Duke and Duchess will be in the United Kingdom regularly despite a wish to spend most of their time in North America, aka Canada. A royal source said they will continue to work with their existing patronage is, I can't fucking read today, as they build.
Patronage.
Yeah, there we go. Well, there was an S at the end.
Oh.
As they build a plan for engagements in Britain and the Commonwealth throughout the year. Yay! 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 What? What?
What? What's the whatting?
Oh god, this is terrible. This is fucking terrible. What the fuck? I don't even want to read this. Why? Why do I get this in my newsfeed? Because I don't want to know about such sad things. Okay, warning, sad things. The estranged wife of a former Australian rugby player is dead along with the couple's 3 young kids after he apparently set their car on fire with all of them inside, according to witnesses. Multiple media reports out of Brisbane, says the former New Zealand Warriors player Rowan Baxter, age 42, also died after allegedly stabbing himself at the suburban scene of the attack on Wednesday morning. He sounds like a sane person. Baxter's estranged wife, Hannah.
Is it wrong of me to think where did he stab himself?
No, I hope he was somewhere where it took him a long time to die, the little bastard. Baxter's estranged wife,
That
Hannah,
would be in the gut.
age 31, emerged from the burning car yelling, "He's poured petrol on me," one witness told the Australian. She was taken from the scene and died later at a hospital. Australia's Prime Minister Scott Morrison described the deaths as devastating in a message on Twitter. Not devastating, horrifying. How the fire actually occurred has not been ascertained at the moment. As for us to call it a murder, suicide, or a tragic accident, it's inappropriate at this stage. No, I think it's pretty fair to fucking say. Police were called to the car fire about 8:30 a.m. and said in a statement that 3 children ages 6, 4, and 3 were found dead inside the vehicle. Yeah. That's the thing. That
is a tragedy.
Exactly. Alrighty, I'm gonna get out of Canadian news here. Let's see what the chat's going on here. Red Feather doesn't sound like an accident, right? How the hell could it be an accident?
It was on purpose.
A ghost. A ghost did it. That's exactly what happened. It was, in fact, a ghost. Hey, Random Internet Box, what's up? How do you accidentally pour petrol on a car full of people and then set it on fire? It's a ghost, I tell you. It's totally legit.
Yeah, poltergeists.
Yeah.
Damn spirit possessed the gas can.
Oh, Trucker, you might be able to fill us in on this one.
Okay.
Okay. Republicans in Oregon and California want to secede and become part of Idaho.
I kind of heard about that.
You know what?
The rural areas in California and Oregon. Now, mind you, we'll say the obvious names: L.A., Portland, right? Especially considering Portland is pretty much under Antifa control. The conservative areas surrounding there actually want to secede from their state and join Idaho.
You know what?
Really?
It wasn't funny the first time. Not going to get funnier any the third and fourth time.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen a third and fourth time.
Mm-hmm.
Idaho.
When I think of Idaho, I think of potatoes.
Same
I mean,
state.
that's where they come from.
Yeah, it's the same state. I mean,
Idaho is the Ireland of America.
so it's pretty much. Remember, you've heard a few weeks back the talk about several Virginia counties seceding from Virginia and joining West Virginia.
Yes.
Basically, they're talking about doing the same thing.
Talking about Idaho and Crappy shows up. Nice timing.
Yeah. Now the thing is, what a lot of people have been talking about, back when Trump got elected, California was actually talking about seceding from the U.S. as a whole. Well, unfortunately, unfortunately for California, there was this war about 155 years ago now that said no, states don't have the right to secede from the Union anymore. On the other hand, counties moving around, yeah, you still have that right.
I do agree. California is a whole.
Yeah, well.
Well, and because of all the gerrymandering, doesn't that mean that Portland and LA basically get to dictate everything?
Yep.
Yes.
Nice. That's very nice.
Same with New York City.
Huh. And Chicago, right?
Chicago's Illinois, different part of the city, but
But same concept, yeah?
Yeah, but they don't really vote though. They're too busy. They're too busy having daily drive-bys and gang shootings. Don't worry about stuff like voting.
yeah.
Okay, fair. Well, that totally happened. That's totally a
There
thing.
was that one day
I
no
think-
one got shot in Chicago.
Yeah, I was about to say-
It was a miracle.
I was about to say, yeah, I think in 2019 there was one day where nobody got shot in Chicago. No, it was one weekend. There was one weekend that nobody got shot in Chicago in 2019.
You know your city's bad when it's news that no one got shot.
Yeah, but I think it's a matter of
It's called Chirac for a reason.
yeah, but I think as far as Chicago goes, the one weekend without a murder, honestly, there was somebody who he was shot on one side of the street, walked over to the other side. If he had been shot while he was on that other side of the street, it would have been counted. So, yeah.
So it was only a technicality. Wow, Chicago, you can't even do that correctly.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah, exactly. So, in other awesome news, which I don't understand why Trump would actually ask for this, but Julian Assange's lawyer has claimed that President Donald Trump offered Assange a pardon if he agreed to say that Russia was not involved in hacking emails from Democrats during the 2016 presidential election. Assange's
Pardon
lawyer.
Assange.
Yes.
He's offering to that's an easy one. He's offering to pardon Assange because Assange knows who did the hacking.
But he ain't saying
that-
anything because
But
snitches
he
get stitches.
He refuses to say anything, because of his reasoning for not saying it. So Trump's
He
just
does
saying.
want it bad.
Trump is just saying, hey, tell them what you already know, and I'm not telling you to actually identify the person. Just verify that it wasn't me. And Assange said, I can't do that.
I wish Trump wouldn't do that because now it looks like cover up.
Yeah, it does.
Just fucking pardon Assange anyway. Good God. Assange deserves a fucking medal, not a prison, not being fucking imprisoned.
Well, in prison, he'll be surrounded by metal. Stainless steel sink, stainless steel toilet, iron
You're
bars.
fired.
Ding.
No,
Ding.
that's not getting dinged.
Ding.
No.
Ding.
It doesn't deserve a
No.
ding.
Sir, you work for me.
No.
Ding.
No.
Ding.
No. Wait, I quit last night. Why am I even here?
There.
Well, that was fucking awful.
That's because
Well,
it was
that
a
can
mug
actually-
hitting another mug.
That can be summed down into 2 words there, Skittles. Why are you still here if you quit last night? Pussy and desperation. Anyway.
Desperation, not really.
Took you a little while to come up with that, didn't it?
But vagina, yes, most definitely.
If you want
Because,
vagina, you
yeah,
should have dinged.
The guy who leaked the DNC stuff was Seth Rich, the guy who shot himself 4 times in the back.
Yeah.
Seth Rich leaked one set of the DNC stuff. Hillary Clinton and the DNC stuff were 2 separate things.
And he leaked the DNC stuff because he was a pissed off Bernie bro.
Oh, well, at least, he was.
Which speaking of, I don't know how many fucking times I have to keep telling the Bernie campaign guys to go away when they keep coming to my house. I've had about 3 come to my house in the last week or 2, and I've had about 20 text messages from them. Apparently,
Just tell them, fuck off, commies.
how many times do I have to respond, Pinochet did nothing wrong before they get the message?
I don't know, but
Better dead than red.
the IRS is suing Facebook for $9 billion for offshoring profits to Ireland.
I believe it.
Are they not allowed
Facebook
to
is
just move
filthy.
profits somewhere? Or do they have to tax it first?
Well,
Oh,
Yeah.
no, the IRS has to steal their portion of it first.
Ah, I see.
And Red, no, I don't want to feel the burn because if you feel the burn, you should probably go get tested because it's probably some kind of STD.
You're totally not wrong.
I can't have STDs. I don't have sex.
Then it's probably a prostate or kidney issue. Either way, you should see a doctor.
I don't like doctors.
I don't know who this guy is. Who the fuck is this guy that's trying to add me on Facebook while I'm trying to go find the news? Who the fuck are you?
Every time I always get probably 4 times a week some hot chick wanting to be my friend on Facebook.
It's a bot.
Yeah, anytime I do, they're like, "Hey, check me out on this website."
It's just like, just
you have to
send.
pay for it, and it's nudie.
Yeah,
I
no
don't
shit.
need nudie.
Well, it's a thing. totally a thing. So yeah, there's more things. My marriage never involved hush money. Buttigieg responds to Limbaugh and Trump. So following following repeated jabs at Rush Limbaugh on his marriage and sexual orientation, Pete Buttigieg defended his marriage while suggesting it is more representative of proper family values than President Trump. Buttigieg said his marriage never involved me having to send hush money to a porn star after cheating on my spouse. He went on to challenge Limbaugh and Trump to a debate on family values. The gay versus the Trumps. Wow.
You know, the thing that got Trump elected in the first place wasn't so much any kind of moral standing that he does or does not have. It's a matter of, hey, if there's somebody that can put me in a position where I can pay my fucking bills. Do you know how many quote unquote conservatives have compromised their personal values to vote for Trump? So, dear Pete, get off your fucking high horse.
And also, dear Pete, you will shut up, Boot. You wore your fleece underneath your fucking flick, with the shoulder pieces still on it. Anything you say is automatically invalidated after seeing that picture of you. You shut the fuck up, Boot.
I mean, how much of a laughing stock would America be with President Buttigieg?
Can't be any worse than the laughing stock that we were with President Obama. Just saying.
True. What the hell are you doing in the closet, Cat?
Not coming out.
Cat's just visiting where you live. It says, come out of the closet, Thunder. Come out. Come out of the closet, Thunder.
Hey, I like living in Narnia. Freaking talking lion, it's awesome.
Wow. Okay, so Florida man trying to steal from a store was tased by the cops. And this is a story, even though a lot of people are tased by cops from stealing. But since it's in Florida,
that's very, very disappointing for a Florida man story.
I know.
He didn't even use an alligator to rob the store. That's just not right.
We need to combine I'm Kyle with Florida man, because then we'll get to see an alligator thrown through a drywall.
Yeah, so the police in Florida reported on Friday that a man who was trying to get away from a store was shot with a taser after customers and employees at the store reported him for shoplifting. The man, named Foreign was pinned to the ground by a manager and a civilian, but managed to wiggle free. He was then tased by the cops. So he tried to rob it while there's a bunch of people around. Nice. Good job, bud. Good job.
Great job. Great going, Florida man.
The key to a 5-finger discount is not to get caught.
This has been Moments of Enlightenment with Green Thunder D. Mighty.
Also, stealing is wrong. Don't do it.
Just don't get caught.
Remind me again who George Zimmerman is?
The dude who shot Trayvon Martin.
Okay. Well, George Zimmerman is suing Warren and Buttigieg for $265 million, accusing them of attempting to garner black votes by defaming him.
So they're no different than literally everybody else. Yeah, by the way, saying this once again, Trayvon Martin was not a victim. He fucked around and he found out.
Yep.
Listen,
He
you
went
fight
from
the
tra- he
cops,
went
the
from-
cops win.
No, he didn't. No, Zimmerman wasn't a cop. Zimmerman was just a dude who fucking Trayvon Martin was assaulting, and
Zimmerman-
Zimmerman turned him from Trayvon into Trayvoff.
Zimmerman was nothing but a glorified neighborhood watch.
Not even glorified. That's all he was neighborhood watch.
Oh, and Venezuela.
Trayvon Martin was basically Mike Brown before Mike Brown. It was when Trayvon, then Mike Brown, then that's what caused Black Lives Matter to start.
Don't forget Freddie Gray.
Oh yeah, well Freddie Gray happened right after Mike Brown. Yeah. Then those three basically started the whole Black Lives Matter thing. Which once again, and that all that is just fucked around, found out.
Yep.
Well, I will agree one thing though, as far as Freddie Gray goes.
Oh yeah, that was definitely excessive.
That was very excessive. I'm sorry when a cop has to explain to IA. I don't know how he managed to get a spine injury while in the back of a van, supposedly seatbelted in. Yeah.
Venezuela terrorized by special police, partly staffed with convicted criminals.
What?
Well, when you need thugs,
Exactly.
where are you going to go?
The Special Action Force of Venezuela's National Police has earned a...
Special Action Force sounds like the gayest version of, like, CSI.
Yep.
Venezuela's Power Rangers.
Venezuela's National Police has earned a fearsome reputation in the poor neighborhoods across Venezuela, which is like all of them, since it was founded 2.5 years ago by President Nicolas Maduro. Ordinary citizens, human rights groups, and opposition politicians have accused the officers of torture and executions. Wow. Okay.
What tortures are they using?
Let's find out.
And execution methods.
So yeah, since President Nicolas Maduro founded the Special Action Force of Venezuela's National Police 2.5 years ago, the squad has earned a fearsome reputation in poor neighborhoods across Venezuela. Members of the Special Action Force of the Venezuelan National Police, or FAEs, stop people during a night patrol in a place I can't pronounce, Venezuela.
There's probably some Spanish.
Give me one sec, guys.
Also, Special Action Force, even if they're beating the crap out of me, I'm still laughing at the name. I'll make fun of them until they kill me.
See, that's where you're going. You're going for the gay side on that. I'm just sitting there thinking Special Action Force. You know, so we're talking an armored vehicle, you know, an armored tank-like vehicle driving down the street. There's the head of the driver sticking out of that portal, just sitting there screaming, I like tater tots.
That too.
Exactly.
Gay retard force.
So officers in the force have been accused of torture and summary executions by human rights groups, opposition politicians, and ordinary citizens. Last November, Reuters published an investigation into 20 killings by the force known as the FAES, in which the official narratives of shootings as acts of self-defense were countered by eyewitnesses' accounts, video evidence, death certificates, autopsy reports, and other documentation. The force has been linked to hundreds of deaths since its creation in 2017. For all its notoriety, though, the FAEs is highly secretive, known for signature dark masks and black uniforms, like Antifa, bearing skull insignias but no name tags. Officers typically remain anonymous even after blood is shed. Now a court case involving the deaths of 2 men killed last March by the FAEs reveals another little-known fact that Reuters is the first to publicly disclose. Some of the squad's officers are convicted criminals. According to hundreds of sealed documents submitted by prosecutors in the case, at least 2 officers accused of involvement in the killings served prison terms before they joined the FAEs. The documents, which include autopsies, ballistic reports, officer testimony, and personnel files, also show that at least 3 other members of the FAEs precinct, FAEs precinct, who aren't being prosecuted over the deadly operation, have criminal records of their own. It is both illegal and against national police policy for criminals to belong to the FAEs. A 2009 law bars Venezuelans with criminal convictions from working as police officers. FAE's guidelines and recruitment documents reviewed by Reuters say officers should have no criminal record and be of good moral character. I don't think Maduro fucking cares at this point. Like, seriously.
If they had good moral character, the country would be better off.
Yeah, they wouldn't
That's
be eating
why.
dogs. Like, hide your puppies, people. Jose, I can't pronounce that, National Commissioner of the FAEs, in a brief exchange by text message, told Reuters that members of the force go through select processes and special training. He didn't really say or respond to questions about the criminal records of the FAE's officers or a request to discuss Reuters' findings in person or by telephone. Venezuela's Interior Ministry, which oversees the police, and the Information Ministry, responsible for government communications, didn't return calls and emails by Reuters detailing its findings either. The presence of convicts within the ranks of the FAEs sheds new light on a security force widely considered by Venezuelans to be a mechanism of social control for Maduro, whose government is plagued by economic decline, widespread hunger, and insecurity, and international sanctions and isolation. Hailed by the president as a new means to fight surging crime and violence, the FAEs has become as feared as the criminals it was meant to target, especially in poor districts where hardship fans political instability. People familiar with the FAEs say its leaders are more concerned with projecting force and fear than with fighting crime. Nice. They hire people who aren't afraid to commit crimes, to enter a home without a warrant, and kill, said Nora Ekevez, a former chief prosecutor in Smiranda, the state where the homicide court case will be heard. A criminal does these things easily because they've already done them before. You don't fucking say. The mystery surrounding the Force is one of the many questions in life that we must ask ourselves. The dark side or the light? I'm just kidding. Okay, so the mystery surrounding the Force is part of its playbook. Why didn't I get a ding for that? Thank you. You know, I just slipped Star Wars right in there and nobody had a thing to say about it. Why do I even try?
Sorry, I'm a Trekkie.
So am I. Sort of. But it was still an obvious thing. The Force. I should have said the Schwartz. Is part of its playbook.
Schwartz.
There we go, see? Professionals familiar with it say the FAEs prefer the anonymity as they use the Schwartz. And, you know, they're assholes. The end. What a good story. That was a great story. All right, chat, what are you up to? Has anybody been paying attention to chat at all? Like, for example, hi, Big Dro.
I can't. I've only got my phone.
Hi, Big Joe. And Big Joe also likes tater tots. And Random Internet Box says when a civilian and a random manager is better than 10 cops from their country. What fucking country are you from?
Also, hey, Cryptic.
Hello.
Cryptic's here? Because I'm not seeing him on my end.
He's way the fuck up there because nobody was paying attention to chat at all.
No.
So he's way the fuck up there.
Well, hello,
To
Cryptic.
be fair, 2-year-old.
Technical
Yeah.
difficulties.
25 minutes ago, he said hi.
Well, 25 minutes late, hello, Cryptic.
Pussy is now censored.
Meanwhile, he says it.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Oh, God. Right side of my neck hurts. What the fuck?
It happens. It happens sometimes.
What? Indian villagers worship priest with massive tumor on his face as a god.
Is this dots or feather Indians?
I think it's dots.
That is much
Dog?
less surprising.
Yeah. Do you think about it? Hey, I will throw something at you.
It's the
Don't they worship a kid with
1
a
second.
tail?
it's the 7-Eleven Indians, not the casino Indians.
Stop that barking.
Speaking of weird deformities, did you see that article about the quote-unquote fashion show with big lips, big ears, and big eyebrows?
No, I didn't.
It's in the Discord.
I'm not looking at it.
Apparently it's racist to have big lips, big ears, and big eyebrows.
Once again, I'm not looking at it.
Just the fuck of Val.
But also, actually, a better way using the 7-Eleven reference would be when you're talking about Sikhs or Arabs. Sikhs are the 7-Eleven people. The Arabs are the 9/11 people. And I heard that from a Sikh, so it's okay.
Yes, dog. You know, it's like 8:30 at night. You gotta bark at everything? Like, seriously.
Yes. Yes, it's one of those. Yes, hey, you're the one who decided to take in a fucking overgrown rat.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding me, because I didn't already know this.
Well, then don't complain about it. You're the one who decided to take it in.
Ugh.
There is a rodent that weighs more than that dog.
Is it the rodent of unusual size from The Princess Bride?
I don't
No,
think they
capybaras
exist.
usually weigh like 40 pounds.
Ah, trucker, nice reference.
Thank you.
You're a dick, M&Ms. You're a dick. All
I
right.
know. It's literally my middle name.
Really?
Richard?
Huh. Didn't know that. Now I do. Alright, so, yeah. Indian villagers worshipping priest with massive tumor on his face as a god. This is going to be so much fun. Don't you think? Is it at all? Anybody? No?
Eh.
Okay,
Sure.
there we go. Guys are dicks.
Is it benign at least?
Sure, I'm down for some body horror. It's been a while since I've seen a David Lynch movie.
Oh, God.
You're down for body horror? What, did you look in a mirror? God damn it, that's mean. Sorry.
No, I just happened to see a picture of you today.
Alright, so let's see.
I look good for a pile of shit.
Wow. You know, I feel like I should share this to my Facebook and then load it so y'all can get a good... You can all tell me if this guy looks horrifying or not. I'm going to do that. I'm still going to do that because I feel like this guy could be very horrifying to look at. Like, you know, some kind of horrifying, you know? Just like some kind of terrible. Big Drew. Go throw something at the dog. Oh, come on. Why not?
They do sell Nerf guns for dogs.
The dog deserves it.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be so much like it's so fun to just throw things at dogs.
I'm looking at this. Oh wow, yeah, that looks absolutely horrifying.
Y'all mean, I can't look at it.
I'll pull it up and well, you know what? It's not our fault that you decided not to go to.
If you're in a hangout on your phone, you can look at it. Blind Girl shared it on Facebook.
Oh, I can?
If you are in a hangout on your phone, you can do other stuff. It's just like a phone. It is just like a phone call.
Yeah.
I usually don't do other things in phone calls.
Oh, I do that all the time.
I do.
And Big Dro, I wouldn't throw something that would hurt the dog. It'd be something like an empty juice box.
God, that is terrifying.
Or a hair elastic thingy, or its own
Where is
toy.
his mouth?
Oh wow, and he apparently has a blind wife.
Of course he has a blind wife. Look at him.
Yeah, someone like him, yeah, that's his only hope would be. Jesus Christ. But then again, this is India, so it was probably arranged. So it was probably an arranged marriage.
Yeah, and like, how does this guy speak? And like, why did nobody ever just remove it? There you go, guys. There's a nice look. I mean, I don't know how well you're gonna see it, but it's pretty gross.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying.
I'm just saying. Blind girl, an empty juice box might still hurt the dog. I doubt it. I doubt it, but anyways,
I don't think the dog would.
okay, so yeah, an Indian priest born with a massive facial tumor is worshipped by local villagers as a god. Debul Mishra, age 32, from Shahjahanpur in the state of Uttar Pradesh, was born with a condition that caused his face and lips to grow to outsized proportions. You mean some of that tumor is his lip?
Yeah, there, in one of the pictures you can see hair on it.
Also, yes, the utter state of things. I agree with Red Feather. Now I know I can look at
God
that.
damn it.
He has almost exhausted his savings trying to get the tumor removed, and now works in a local temple to support his family because he refuses to beg. So instead of begging, you con people into thinking you're a god. Good job. Good job.
That is a good question, Red Feather. How does he eat? I'm begging through a straw.
Why would people even go to listen to him talk? Because I'd like throw up at every service.
I bet that's how he sounds. Just muffled.
Yeah. Yeah, like what the actual fuck. Okay, so but some villagers actually see the deformity as a blessing, believing him to be an incarnation of the god Lord Jambavantha,
Foreign.
who is depicted with a bear-like face. That does that look like a bear-like face to you?
It's not bear-like. I don't know what Indian bears look like, but that dude ugly.
Debul currently lives in poor conditions with his blind wife and children, but has not lost hope. He said, "I was born with this condition, but never took to begging because of my self-respect." I see. Said the oh, there's another picture down here. I wonder how gross it is.
You know, I give the man absolute kudos for being able to survive with that, not with, you know, in good spirits.
True.
I mean, the thing is, how many of us, if we ever developed a tumor like that, would swallow a bullet? And this man's actually got the outlook on life to where he's being worshipped.
Is it bad that he has more self-esteem than I do? I just feel bad for myself now.
I don't know. All right, guys, I'm sorry, but I've got to get off here. I've got a 2-year-old just getting super cranky.
Fair.
So.
Have a good one.
Yep. All right. See everyone later. Dash game starts tomorrow morning.
Bye bye.
Not sure what time, but dash game does start tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
See you in the morning, trucker.
Just wow. Somebody help get this guy a removed tumor.
He can get it removed over there.
Would he want to remove it if he's being worshipped and given money?
Nope. That's why he hasn't.
Is he being given? Is he being given money?
Well, a place to live, I guess, at least.
I love how his wife was just like, it's good that I cannot see, else it would have been more tough for me after seeing my husband in this condition.
Damn. Which, once again, I'm so glad that you'll never be able to see what I look like.
At least you look better than that dude.
It would be really fucking hard not to.
How is he drinking from that cup, man? Is it a straw?
It's like, he's got like a little hole in like the side of his boil.
Ah,
Boo.
fair. And before anybody asks, I just knew there was a cup because that's what my phone told me. Just blessings, people, blessings. Count them. You could be this guy.
I think he'd try to rip his lip off if you look like that. But yeah, would you rip duct tape off your lip if you look like that?
No, that would hurt like a motherfucker. I'm not crazy.
I beg to differ. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I'm mean.
Oh, wow. Russian ghost ship with cannibal rats could wash up on Ireland
Nope.
shore.
Wait, are they acting like cannibal rats is something out of the ordinary?
Apparently.
Rats will eat just anything.
Fears ship with cannibal rats could wash up in Ireland after Ballycotton wreck. Sorry. Oh, wait. Seriously? Okay.
Bless you.
Good. Thanks.
And the Russian ghost ship wasn't a ghost ship. They rescued the people off it and it was still afloat, I guess.
Yeah. A second ship could wash up on Irish shores. Seriously? Sorry.
Bless you.
Thanks. Wash up
Are you
on...
allergic to dog?
Maybe. On Irish shores. Following the landing of a ship in Cork last weekend, the MV Alta ship hit a rocky area off the coast of Ballycotton during Storm Dennis last Sunday and remains stuck ashore. The latest on the MV Alta suggests that a person has been in contact with Revenue in Ireland to claim ownership of the vessel. A risk...
Why would you claim ownership of that?
A risk assessment regarding pollution by the ship of surrounding waters is due to be carried out on Wednesday. The Irish Times reports that another ship, which went missing in 2013, also threatens to run ashore in Ireland. The Russian cruiser Lyubov Orlova, which had been used for tours of the Arctic and Antarctic, was being towed through international waters headed for the Dominican Republic when the tow line broke. It was left adrift in the ocean, although it had been sold for scrap and subsequently went missing. Reports in 2014 suggested that the ship with cannibal rats, which posed a threat, as the National Geographic suggested that it could end up off the coast of Ireland. The ship remains missing and is difficult to track due to a likely dead transponder, and the Coast Guard suggested that it is likely that the vessel already sank. It did say that it was still on the lookout, as there is a possibility that Ireland may be its destination if it remains afloat. But nobody told us why cannibal rats is a bad thing.
Or a thing at all, because seriously, rats eat everything.
Let's see, Google. Why are cannibal rats a bad thing? Let's see. Let's see what Google says. Okay, this is just a ghost ship again.
A rat king. Now, actually, that's kind of a good thing, because most of the rats involved in a rat king end up dead. By most, I mean probably all.
Why do mother rats sometimes eat their babies? I don't know. Cannibal rat drags another dead rodent down the subway stairs, and okay. Again, I'm not quite sure why the cannibal rats matter.
But seriously, have I described a rat king to you before?
No.
Basically, every once in a while, a bunch of rats will get their tails, like, tied together. And most of the time, they die like that.
I like I don't understand why anybody cares about cannibal rats, because so far Google's like, meh.
Rats are cannibals to begin. They're survivors, so they.
Another lobsters will resort to cannibalism.
Thanks,
They
that's better.
found,
Lobster's
they found,
tasty as hell. Why wouldn't I?
yeah, because they
Dude.
found lobster skins in the stomach of other lobsters.
Dude, if I tasted that good, I'd eat myself too.
Lobsters are pretty tasty.
The damn sea bugs. Wonder what isopods taste like. Oh well.
Oh my god.
Freaking giant sea pill bugs.
Alright, I know we've got 15 minutes left, but I'm gonna end this slightly early after M&M does this thing.
Alright. Shoop-a-doop-a-doop-doop, shooby-dooby-doo-bop, shooby-dooby-doo-boop, dooby-doo-doo.
See.
Bernie Sanders frustrated with having to ask for money instead of just taking it. The campaign trail is reportedly taking a toll on Bernie Sanders. The main thing that seems to be wearing him out is the extremely foreign concept of having to convince people to voluntarily hand over their money. This just feels so wrong, Sanders told his staffers. If you know you have a really good idea on how to spend that money, you just take that money from people under the threat of imprisonment. Having to convince people to voluntarily hand over money just feels too much like capitalism. Initially, to get people to give him money, Sanders would just grab people by the collar and shake them, yelling, "Give me your money!" When this didn't work, Sanders had to change tactics to a kinder, more sensitive approach, asking for donations. The incentive of money made me change my behavior from what I wanted to do to what other people want, Sanders said. I feel so dirty. Reportedly, to calm down after a long day of having to convince people to voluntarily do things, Sanders likes to relax by playing with some stuffed animals he can control and make all the plans for. And Finn.
Nice.
Bernie Sanders is no longer asking for your financial support. Bernie Sanders is now demanding it.
Yeah.
That's the end.
Yeah. Okay.
You want me to do Trucker's thing?
Yeah, do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Mr. Misanthropic. It's Sunday Fun Day. It's absolutely terrible. We're watching vintage PSAs this week, so go ahead and clear your schedule that evening. The Pumpkin Trucker has all his daily dash cams starting tomorrow at probably sometime way too fucking early. But in the meantime, head on over to Green Thunder D Mighty if he is streaming. Are you streaming anytime soon, Green?
One of these days, the Sierra Madre will be opened as soon as I stop being lazy and stream.
Okay, so if he does or not, in the meantime, and then tomorrow, then remember to come back tomorrow at 7 p.m. EST for another episode of Blind Trucking, where blah blah blah. Next time you may get to hear Blind Girl say,
why the fuck do I ever answer my emails these days?
"Thanks for stopping by, everybody."
Yeah, yeah, peace, bye, all that good stuff.
Sex.
Sniff.
Sausage